LinkedIn guru, the teacher. Jeff has provided nearly 200 free LinkedIn workshops in the last 3 years. He has been on LinkedIn since 2004. 2004. Now we are in 2024, so I would say 20 years or so. It's one of the first 600,000 members to join. He does not provide one-on-one training or consulting. His focus is in free seminars. So Jeff is a former director and account manager with Intellilinks, and as an e-learning venture of Ernst & Young LLP, and has helped manage and mentor thousands of people in many different organizations. Most recently, Jeff has been devoting his time to being a professional networker, teaching networking and LinkedIn, and he has trained thousands of professionals in how to maximize their networking skills and best utilize networking tools. Okay, please see links in his featured sections for a schedule of his presentation and also tips on how to use LinkedIn. Please join me to welcome Jeff. Jeff, you got the stage.
Thank you, Hamid. I appreciate it very much. And it's nice to be back at CSIX. I've done this quite a few different times. Again, namaste, everyone. For you on the West Coast, good morning. It's afternoon for me, around 2 o'clock, because I'm on the Eastern time zone, Eastern Daylight Time. And I am called the LinkedIn Guru because that's what my network calls me. If you look Guru up in the dictionary, you see the word teacher, and that's exactly what I've been doing. For the last 16 plus years, I've been teaching LinkedIn, and that ends up being to the tune of about 1,000 different seminars and about 20,000 plus different students. So you just add to that number of new students. More than anything else, though, as a teacher, okay, I sometimes, that's kind of why I have the boy in blue. You recognize the last son of Krypton behind me here, okay? The reason I have Superman behind me is because I introduce myself sometimes by saying, hi, I'm Jeff Young, I'm a teacher. What's your superpower, okay? So I believe all teachers have a superpower, and one of those superpowers for me is in answering questions. So if you have a question that is about LinkedIn, drop it in the chat, please. I'd like to make this as interactive as possible. Turn your screen on, raise your hand, whatever it takes to get my attention. Ian or Hamid will be watching the chat, and they'll feed me the questions as we go because they know I love questions, okay? So today I'm going to concentrate on a couple of things, though. There are several things I wanted to show you. And I'll start with that, and then I'll pause from time to time and ask for questions. But I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to start in the Jobs tab, okay, of LinkedIn. So when you look at this, by the way, this is one of the other ways that I can help you, okay, is that this is my profile on LinkedIn. So look up Jeff Young. There are lots of Jeff Youngs out there, but there's only one LinkedIn guru out there. That would be me. And when you come to my profile, you can see all kinds of things that will be helpful to you, because if you scroll down, you'll find that I have a featured section that has featured articles and featured things like that. There's even a newsletter out there that you can subscribe to or go grab. If you want to click on the newsletter item in the featured section, it takes you to all of my newsletters. And it's slow to paint them right now. It's not painting the screen, but that should show you all my newsletters if you go to that screen. Let me go back to my profile. At least I hope I will here. There we go. Okay. And also in my activity section, you can look at all my posts or all the images or all the videos that I've done, et cetera, there as well. So that's a lot more help that you can find, more than I can give you in just an hour. I think that one of the things that as a teacher, you probably all heard the adage of, if I give you a fish, I feed you for a day. If I teach you to fish, I feed you for the rest of your life. So I can see that Ali, you've already got your hand up. So honestly, go right ahead.
Thank you. Very quick one. I tried to connect to you, but it asked for your email before I can connect to you. Just
Yeah, that's correct. That's on purpose. I have my account set up that way. Honestly, Ali, what I prefer is that people follow me, okay? Because I don't do one-on-one, but I do a lot of things like a lot of free seminars. So if you follow me, and oh, by the way, I'll show you something right now that will help you. If you follow me, and then once you followed me, you ring my bell. Have you ever heard of ringing someone's bell on LinkedIn? Okay. If you follow me and ring my bell, then that will also allow you to see everything. You'll get notified about everything that I put out. Okay.
thank you.
So, and the way that works, just so I can show you, I'm gonna use Ian as a guinea pig here. Okay, because Ian and I are connected. But once you follow someone, what will show up on their profile, if you click follow, what will show up underneath, right underneath their background picture over here on the right is a bell. Okay, and if you click that bell, you can do this for anybody. You don't have to be connected to them. You can do this for anybody. If you click that bell, and as a matter of fact, I needed to do this in order to update this, because what we will default to is most relevant, personalized based on your activity. Well, what you want to do is make sure that you click all. And once you click all, click save, and that will change the bell. And down here, it will tell you that now you will receive all notifications. So I'm going to receive a notification every time Ian posts something out there. And you can do the same thing for me or anyone else. Does that make sense? Okay.
I already learned something new. Thank you.
Yeah, no, the bell has been around for a while. They just changed that. The bell has been around for a while, but you have to follow someone in order to see it. Or if you're connected, if you go to someone else that you're connected with, you will actually automatically see the bell up there as well. Okay. But that turning that bell on is something that's very, very helpful, because that will tell LinkedIn that you want to be notified every time that person posts something. Now, I'm going to go to the jobs tab, because I want to start in the jobs tab and give you something that you may or may not have known. I'm going to start in the jobs tab, and I'm going to talk about something called interview prep. Anybody ever used the interview prep? Unmute and tell me if you actually ever used interview prep, or is interview prep new? Okay, I'm not hearing anybody, so I'm assuming that it's pretty new to most folks. Interview prep is something that's free on LinkedIn. If you go to the jobs tab and click interview prep, one of the things that it will allow you to do is go to a screen here that will allow you to actually look at each of these different kinds of typical questions. There are 26 different questions out here. And you know, what would your co-workers say about you, for example? If I click that, okay, it focuses on that question, gives you some answers that other people have given before, and allows you to actually go out through here and practice by either recording a video. So if you're setting up to do a video interview, this would be a really good way of practicing a question that, you know, that they will almost always ask you, you know, tell me about yourself. Or you can actually do that as a written response. You do one of those two things, and then you can actually get feedback. You'll receive feedback privately from the people that are out there and participate as well. So that's something that's very, very useful. Now, what you'll notice is that there are things down here that are related to the answers that other people have made. If you don't have a premium account, you'll see just the very first portions of these. But if you have even if you have a free account, you can still go here and view how to approach this question, which is an answer that is put out there by someone at LinkedIn, and you can actually.
We're often taught from a very early age to be humble, to not be self-congratulatory or overtoot our horns. So a question that
So you can watch each of those videos, get a view of that, and there's more information there, and it even gives you tips down here at the bottom. So it's a very, very helpful little tool, and it's free. Okay. Everything I talk about today that I show you is free unless I tell you otherwise. Okay. So and this is basically a way of practicing and a way of getting artificial intelligent feedback and feedback from others who have actually answered the question as well. Any questions on that? It's called interview prep. Okay. Again, it's under the jobs tab, and it's called interview prep. Questions, anybody? Anything in the chat? Okay. Now, quite often you find that there are things that are hidden as well. And here's one that used to be on this tab, is still available, but it's not available unless you know the exact link on a desktop to go get it. And it's something called Resume Builder. Now, you might think that, well, what does that mean, Resume Builder? Well, what it's actually talking about doing is taking your profile and creating a resume of it, okay? Now, this is not, the purpose of this is not to replace your exact, your tailored resume that you would use for a job description, but it's a really good feature that allows you to then check your LinkedIn profile for the right keywords, okay? Now I'm going to put this link, I'm going to go to the link, okay? So bear with me for a second. I'm going to go get this link under Resume Builder. It used to be here, okay? But the link still works. So if you still have the link, you can still go do it. So this is the resume that I've created before, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab that and I'm going to put that in the chat so that you can have that link and use it whenever you desire. Now, by the way, this is a free service, but interestingly enough, this is a free service that I'm told just recently, as a matter of fact, this morning, I'm told that this Resume Builder is going to disappear. So it's going to disappear as of the 12th, and it might become a premium feature. So if you're planning on trying to use this after I show you what the capabilities are, please do so quickly. That way you'll be able to do something with it. So now you can create a resume from your profile. I've already done that. Here's the resume that I created. And once you click on that resume, after you've gone to the link, then click on that resume, now you can see what it looks like. And you would see what it would look like as far as LinkedIn would organize your resume, okay? But the coolest part about this, as I said before, is not for you to replace your existing resume, but because your LinkedIn profile and your resume are two different things. But the coolest part about this is over here on the right, it's the resume insights. What this allows you to do is that if you're looking for a particular job title, okay, it will tell you what it found or what it would suggest you put as keywords in your LinkedIn profile so you can be found for that exact job title. Now, it'll differ based on the job title that you do use. So you can use any job title you want. But I have, like right now, mine's set for Human Resources Manager, okay? Because I have some background of dealing with folks in the human resources area, and it talks about the keywords that are in my resume, okay, or in this version of my resume, and then suggests some other keywords that are there. Now, I used to be a project manager. I don't want to be found as a project manager anymore. So if I change Human Resource Manager to Project Manager, you can change this to as many different things as you want. Click Project Manager and apply that. Now it shows me that obviously you can see that my LinkedIn profile is not tailored to be a project manager anymore because there are very, very few, only a couple of different things that are found in my LinkedIn version profile resume of the title that are related to project manager. And again, it suggests more here. So you can change that title to anything you want. Put it to anything you want, and then it will give you some feedback about what it already found in your LinkedIn resume, your LinkedIn profile resume, and what it suggests that you put in there as well. So I like keeping it at Human Resources Manager, so I'm going to put it back to that, okay, because it starts out there. And I think that's Human Resource Manager, and then I'll apply it. And as you can see, change it as many times as you want. It'll give you the feedback instantaneously about what it already found and what it suggests as far as keywords is concerned. Okay, and again, that what it was originally under the jobs title where I was before, where we found interview prep, but now that link in the chat is how you get there. Okay, question?
No questions right now, Jeff.
All right, thank you. Okay, now I've got a couple of more things that I want to show you, and I'm gonna mention them by going to Ian's profile real quickly. Let's go back to the home page here. And I'm going to bring up Ian. At least I thought I was. There we go. started to come up. Is it just that slow? There it is. Okay. One of the most important things on LinkedIn is getting found. Okay. And you get found by the types of things that you do from an activity standpoint and the types of things that you have on your resume or on your LinkedIn profile as keywords. Okay. So I'm going to look at, I'm going to show you some activities that I can guarantee you that if in the next week or two, you want to raise the number of times your profile is viewed and the number of times you show up in a search, here are 3 things that I'm going to show you that I want you to do, and they're easy to do. I want you to do them so that you will make sure that LinkedIn knows you're active, make sure that LinkedIn knows that you are available, etc. Okay. Now, first of all, one of the things that I look at on everybody's profile, under more, there is this thing that you can look at about a person's profile. So under more, if I look at about this profile for Ian, the key things that I'm talking about looking at here is that he has not updated his contact information for over a year. And he has not updated his profile photo, although it's probably pretty current. He updated it less than 3 months ago. Okay. Again, I'm going to show you 2 things right now that will allow you to bring yourself back up to the top of the queue, because you will be active and it will reset you and put you in more searches and bring you up more times in terms of getting your profile viewed. Okay. And that is to make a quick change without making really a real change to both contact information and profile photo. And it's easily done. Okay. I'll have to go back to my profile now to show you how it's done. Even though you might not need to change your profile photo, it's a really good idea to keep it current. Okay. So if it's not current, I obviously Ian's is current, so he doesn't really need to change it. But I'd still recommend that he go do what I'm about to show you to do very quickly and very easily, so that he would, again, raise himself. You'll raise yourself up in the search results. You'll raise yourself up in the number of profile views that you get. And one of those quick changes is to click on your profile. Okay. Inside your profile, click on your profile photo. Okay, so once you click on your profile photo, and this is being really slow, so bear with me while it catches up, apparently. There we go. He's trying to paint the rest of this. This is really being really quite slow today. So we must be taxing LinkedIn servers here. There we go. Okay, so once you click your profile photo, click the edit button, but don't make any changes to your profile photo at all. Okay, just leave it there and click save. And what that will tell you is that will save your profile photo again and make it more current. Okay, same thing with contact information. Okay, edit your contact information and then just click save. Now and then it will tell you the save was successful. So now watch what happens when you look at more and about this profile now on mine. It shows that I've updated my profile photo and my contact information less than a week ago. And that is activity on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn loves activity. So do those 2 activities and you will actually see in your results, you'll actually see that your profile will be viewed more times over the next week or so, and you'll be shown in a search more times over the next week or so. Any questions about those 2? I've got one more that I want to show you, but I want to make sure you understood how I did. Everybody with me? Doing okay? Thumbs up? You all right?
Yeah,
Good?
that's a great tip. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate the feedback. Now there's one more that will allow you to raise yourself in the index and the queue as well. And that is one that is on your profile. There's this thing over here called public profile and URL. This is the third one of those 3. I want you to click on edit public profile and URL. And what I'm talking about making sure of is that you are as visible as possible. So double check your public profile's public visibility. You want to be available not only on LinkedIn, but also available in a Google search, etc. Okay. But the little trick that I'm going to show you right now is that in order for you to make sure that this is the most current and you are re-indexed again, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to take this toggle, it should be on. If it's not, make sure it is on. And if it's not on, and if it's not, if it is on, make sure that it says public down here. And then these are possible things that you can show. I almost always show everything. It's always good to show everything. That way people will see the most information that they can about you when they do a Google search or when they see a search, okay? But this is the trick. Turn your public profile visibility off. Success. It updated your settings, okay? Don't leave it off, however. Turn it right back on. Okay, again, success. Again, this is re-indexing stuff, so turn it right back on. And once you turn it back on, what it did was it changed it from public to all LinkedIn members. So I want you to do, after you turn it back on, make sure you click the button next to public as well. So that will also be another update, and that again will re-index you and bring you up in the search results and get your profile viewed more often as well. Susie, I see you've got a hand up.
Jeff, thank you so much for this amazing information. I am always confused about the public profile versus all LinkedIn member profile, because I understand that by now all recruiters or employers, they have their own LinkedIn account. And I'm trying to understand what the value is to turn it on to the general broad public. And to be searchable on Google, for example. Is that the public profile that you're talking about on the visibility?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
And if there is any additional benefits to that, because I am looking for a job, but at the same time, I'd love to have a little bit of privacy.
Well, the benefit is basically Google. The benefit is basically SEO, search engine optimization, because if you're available more than one spot, it does make a difference. Now, obviously, yes, if a recruiter is doing LinkedIn and using LinkedIn, they will find you on LinkedIn as well. But this allows you to be available to the public out there and and even if you are not, any Google search has a chance of actually seeing, and any other search engine has a chance of finding you as well. The reason it works that well is because some people are actually not necessarily using LinkedIn, and they're using other types of search engines in order to find people. And I know a majority of recruiters do use LinkedIn, but there's still the possibility that you might show up just through some other search, and that is going to raise your SEO. So it's always, I've never heard anybody who said it's not of benefit to allow this to be on at the same time. This public profile looks different, if you will, not different, but is a different page, okay? A different, if you will, web page, okay? So having more than one web page is actually a good thing. And it allows you to, it allows people to see all these, and this is kind of a subset of your profile. It's not even everything that's on your own LinkedIn profile, but it's a great deal of the information that is contained in your experience section and your volunteer section, etc. So and I like this one better sometimes if I'm going to look at my profile or maybe even make a printout of my profile, because this one, if I print this page, it actually, one of the biggest changes here between this and my regular profile is look at the about section. My about section is actually expanded, so I can see it all. I can see all of what I've got in my about, as opposed to if I'm over here. Well, excuse me, actually I should have just gone, bear with me, I'll go back to the public profile there and go over here on my about section here. The only way I see it all is if I actually click to see more, because the about section is contracted here. It's not shown in full unless someone clicks see more. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a comment on that, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a setting elsewhere, don't remember where it is right now, that says who can see your email address, everyone on LinkedIn or just people who are connected, or
And that's the one
just second degree.
earlier.
And I used to have it, everyone on LinkedIn could see my email.
Mhm.
And then I got an email from someone that was more appropriate for a matching site, dating site.
Like a dating site.
And I did not appreciate that. And I'm not young, thin, and cute. But the thing is, you can't trace it back because it's just their email address, and there's no way you can block them on LinkedIn. Right. So I changed it back so that now I don't have anyone on LinkedIn can see my email. So I just want to let you know that there are downsides.
Yeah, that will happen. I don't know how many times that happened to you. The balancing act that we're talking about here, Stephanie, is that if you're in the job search, it really behooves you to have your email out there available to people so that they can contact you. Okay. And I have in the past put up with the spam that I get. And even though, by the way, the turning your email to off so that, so that people can't see it doesn't keep you from getting spam, because I still get spam emails and in-mails all the time. People pay LinkedIn so that they can send anybody anybody a message by just clicking the message button. So it doesn't keep
Right. But those are within LinkedIn. So if I get one of those, I can block that person on LinkedIn. What I'm talking about, there was no way to connect that person with their LinkedIn profile.
Right.
And so there was no way to block them.
Right.
I'm just letting everyone, including Susie, know there are downsides to things. That's all.
Yeah, it does make sense. But again, I have this is a personal preference, and you have to decide this on your own as far as what you want your security to be. But in essence, most people, for example, even like Ian, okay. Let me show you what Ian's done, because again, this is a different subject. But in Ian's about section, as soon as I bring Ian's profile up, if I look at Ian's about section, Ian has actually created his email and put his email right here for everyone to see. And
right.
what that actually would even allow to happen is that spammers actually go out there and they scrape that information, and they could get Ian's email.
Right. I've seen people put it in the graphic at the banner of their
Perfect.
headline.
Yes.
That way it can't be scraped and people can still see it.
That's exactly
I
right.
just, it's a little different being on the internet while female. That's it.
Yep.
I didn't want to say it that way, but you're not getting it, so I'm going to say it that way.
Well, even Ian could protect himself a little bit more here, okay, if he really wanted to, because he could protect himself from those scrapers by actually not making this a quote unquote real email address, by just
Right.
putting a space before and after the @ symbol, literally, or basically.
Yeah, I've seen it with the word @ and then a space and then the word dot.
Yep.
DOT
Exactly.
instead of actual dot. Yep.
Yep, exactly. So you can help yourself that way to at least be a little bit safer from that. But again, Ian has made the decision to be as open as possible and give his contact information to anyone who's willing to look for it. Okay, so it's a personal preference. Absolutely. Okay. Any other questions? Was there any questions about how I went through the public profile update? Any questions about anything previously?
Could you say again how you got to that page? I think I might have missed that.
The public profile?
Yeah.
Yep. Go, and you can't do this on anyone except your own. Okay. So you go to your own profile. As soon as this paints and comes up and brings up my profile. Once you're here, once you're here, I feel like I should be using Jeopardy music today. It's so slow. Come on, get up here. Let's go. Yeah, see page unresponsive. There we go. Page. And what I really clicked was not I clicked the banner, which I didn't want to click.
Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it now. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you.
it is on my profile, public profile and URL. Okay,
Thank
and
you.
click that edit button, and that will take you to the place where I can turn it off, turn it back off. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I got something else I'd like to show you here real quick as well, but.
Someone online wanted to ask about dealing with fake accounts on LinkedIn, but if you wanted to talk about that a bit later.
Louder, please, louder.
Someone asked about dealing with fake accounts on LinkedIn?
Dealing with fake?
That's in chat, right?
Yeah.
That's in chat. So what was, Ian, I think you may want to repeat the question in the microphone.
Yeah, so someone just wanted to ask how to deal with fake accounts on LinkedIn. Some of them get connection requests from people they never heard of, and with profiles showing like less than 10.
Well, how to deal with fake accounts is there are always options on anybody's account that you can go to, that you can block that person, that you can that you can keep that person from coming up, and you don't have to be connected to them. There's one. Let me see if I can find one real quick. This usually brings up one of the myriad fake accounts, and I don't know whether this is going to be as good as possible. But again, I get information from fake accounts all the time. Sometimes I block them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just ignore them and go and move on. I report them for sure. Okay. Yeah. This looks suspicious to me. Okay. So here's an account that I bring up that looks suspicious. If you got this, first of all, they don't have a banner. They haven't been on LinkedIn that long. Their information is a little sketchy. Okay, it just doesn't feel right. Whenever a LinkedIn account doesn't feel right, okay, and you want to block it or report it, use the more button, and you can report and or block it. Okay, and that's as easy as it gets. I mean, anytime you want to find that, it's probably under the more button. Okay, you see an account that you want to get rid of and you will never see again, and they will never see you again, report and block them. Okay, and that's block that person, and then you can also report them or their entire account, and you can report them as this is not a real person. So I'm going to do that for this person, okay, and then submit the report. And that's as good as it gets. As long as you're not worried about it, you can leave it at that. If you're more than worried about it, then the next thing would be to do the next thing, which is actually do the block. Okay. And again, you can block anyone you want on LinkedIn. It doesn't matter who it is. Okay. But it's already been flagged. Okay. So now I can actually block that if I want by going here and clicking the block button. And that's as good as it gets, folks. The block is something that, and by the way, it's not irreversible. You can actually go look at a listing of the people that you blocked and turn it back on if you wanted to and unblock them. But that's the best thing. If you're sure that person is on LinkedIn and they are a fake, then I would definitely recommend reporting them and blocking them with what I just did to show you there. That help? That okay?
Thanks,
Yes,
Jeff.
Okay. Now, there's one more that I want to show you here. Oh, and this is on your profile as well. I assume that if most of you folks are actually in the job search, that you have already turned this on, that show recruiters that you're open to work. If you haven't, please consider doing so, because this identifies you to recruiters. And there's two different places you'll probably find it. This is kind of a duplicate here, which I think they're going to redesign and get rid of one or the other of both of these. Open to says finding a new job, and that is the same thing as show recruiters that you're open to work. If you click show recruiters that you're open to work, it will bring up this page, which allows you to then enter into LinkedIn up to 5 different titles. Tell LinkedIn the location types that you're looking for, remote, on-site, etc., as many as you want, up to, I believe, 5 different locations that you're interested in as well. And then whether or not you are willing to start immediately, what type of work you're looking for, part-time, contract, full-time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then the choice that you can make here is where I usually end up hearing people and the controversy that is out there related to whether or not you show only recruiters or whether or not you show all LinkedIn members. Now, if you choose recruiters, the reason that there is a show recruiters only option here is that if you've got a job, but you're looking for a job and want to tell recruiters you're open, you can show only recruiters. And LinkedIn even takes as many steps as possible as it can to only show recruiters that are not your company if you're at a particular current company. So recruiters only is a safe bet. But if you are actually in the job search and open and not employed right now, one of the things that you might want to consider is doing this to all LinkedIn members, which will then actually show a green badge here around your picture that says open to work. Now, the controversy that I always hear about this open to work bit is that people say that if they put up this open to work badge, it makes them look desperate. I disagree. I don't think it makes you look desperate. I think it makes you look informative. Okay. you are telling the world, which by the way, unless you tell somebody, there's no chance of them helping you. Unless they find out you're actually open to work, there's no chance of them actually helping you. So I have always been a proponent of actually, if you're actually in the job search and not working for a current company, that you put that green badge up there for all LinkedIn members. Tell them you're open to work, because the next time someone comes to your profile, they may actually see you're open to work and say, and actually be willing to help you. Your network is more willing to help you if that's possible. Does that make sense, folks? Okay. But turning it on is a two-step process. It could be recruiters only. It could be all LinkedIn members, depending on whether you want it to be that way or not. Okay. Questions about that? Anything? All right. Now,
I have a question.
yeah, go ahead, John.
A member of our audience has a question.
Let me switch over.
No, you're fine. I can hear you this way. It's good.
So, geographic locations you're looking. You can set it here. You can also set it in your job search settings. And I recently changed it like 6 months ago, but unfortunately, it's not showing up it's not being reflected in my job search results. I'm still, I changed it so I'm no longer looking in the west of the US. I'm just looking in California, Oregon, Washington, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand.
Right.
But I'm not getting those results. I'm getting basically North America, Europe. I'm not getting the search results I'm looking for. I don't know what to do about it.
Well, okay, exactly where did you change it? Did you change it where I just was? Did you mention it in the open to work?
There and in the settings for
the job
search.
Preferences? Your job search settings, like, hold on. I want to make sure where this was. Okay, job search preferences here. Because I don't.
Yes, both places.
I don't know of any place else that you can put it except in that open to work one. So if you could point me to where else you changed it, because I've always known it to work here, okay, in the open to work section. Because again, if I bring my profile up and I tell it that I'm open to work, and I get out here and I actually do add a location of St. Louis, Missouri, for example, okay.
I'll take a look, but I'm pretty sure it's in both places. But even if it's only in this place, I'm still having the problem.
Well, the only thing I can tell you is to do it again, to reset it, because it sounds like something didn't really work. And honestly, I know that seems silly, but actually, I've honestly seen it work better sometimes if I've actually gone in when I've had open to work on, turn it off, and then turn it back on again. And literally, it has actually helped because it's reset things to send it to the recruiters again. That's the only thing I can think of. And again, I don't know where else you're talking about here as far as preferences is concerned, except for job search preferences.
Okay, I'll give that a shot.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you something now that might actually help you even more in terms of making sure that you are more focused on telling who it is that you're interested in working for. So, for example, all of you folks out here probably have a list of target companies, right? I mean, I don't know how many you have. I've heard various and sundry, you should have a list of at least 5 to 10 target companies, et cetera, okay? How would you like it if I can show you a way that you can go to the company and tell that company specifically that you are interested in working for them? Did you know that you could do that? Okay, now that's totally different and not anywhere even related to open to work. That's showing recruiters, right, etc. But this is going to a company and telling that company that you are interested in working for them. Ready? Want me to show you? Okay.
Absolutely.
So, for example, now, by the way, this will depend on the company, but here's how to find it if the company has turned it on, because this actually has to be turned on by the company. And if you want me to, if somebody's got a target company that we want to check, give it to me. Anybody want to shout out a target company?
Well, Sherpa Design, SHERPA space design. It's a small company, so I'm going to doubt they have it. But
It might not. Is that it right there?
yes.
All right. Well, we'll find out. And here's how you find out whether or not. So bring up the company, click the view page. Okay. Now, here's the two places that you're going to, because it could be one of two different places. Okay. It won't be necessarily right out here, but it might be underneath. Oh, and I don't even see the second one. They're not big enough to actually have that tab, but it might be under the about. And what you will find, and you're right, it is a small company. They have not turned it on.
Okay.
I can tell because I don't see it. You can look at the about. The other thing that is here, though, is that one of the other places that you might look is a section called Life. Okay, so let me show you a company that does have it turned on. For example, well, let's do Cardinal Health. Cardinal Health's a rather large company. Okay, so they'll have it on. All right, bring up the company like I did before. Click View Page. Okay, now this is the home of the page. So don't rely on it being here. Make sure that you check both the About and the Life tabs. About. Once you get About up, looky what I found right here. Interested in working with us in the future? So privately, you can share your profile with their recruiters specifically, and you'll be noted as expressing interest for up to a year that you're interested in working for this company just by clicking I'm interested here. See how powerful that is? Now you are going directly to that company and saying, I'm interested in working for you. And you're telling them that by clicking this button. Now it's under the About section. It might also be under the Life section. I'm not sure, but usually it's one or the other. Yeah, usually it's one or the other. So they've got a Life section, but it's under the About for these guys. Okay. Another company that I'll show you that
it looks like it was under both for that company.
Okay, I'm sorry if I back up. Did I just go too fast?
Yeah.
So Life, was it also under Life?
Right there.
Yep, there it is. Thank you. Thank you. I just went by. So again, make sure you check. I've noticed though that it is under one and not the other in some of the companies. Okay. So let's see if it's true for example, again, I'm just going to pick a company that I know has it on. So I'm going to go to Microsoft. Come on. Be good to me and go to Microsoft. Come on. It's being contrary again. It's slow. Yep. Wait. There we go. Okay. So under Microsoft, once it paints the whole entire thing, About. There it is under About. Okay. So you're here, interested in working with us in the future. Same thing. Okay. And under this time Life, I don't think it's going to be. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. So at least I thought it was. Yeah, there it is. Also under interested in working with us for the future. So it's either one or the other or both, obviously, as you can see. But that's a really good way of finding it. And who did I think of earlier that I was looking for a company? Partner Health, Microsoft, oh, Amazon. So just as another illustration, let's take a real quick look at them. But check the company, especially all your target companies, to see if they turned it on. Because if they turned it on, it's a really easy way of telling them that you're interested and letting their recruiters know that you are definitely interested. So this is Amazon. Okay, again, that's the home page for Amazon. About. There it is under about, interested, etc. And it's probably going to prove me wrong because I thought I didn't see it under, yeah, it is under life as, whoops, yeah, it is under life as well. Or is it? Yep, there it is. Okay, so there it is again. So you find it in one of those two spots. And again, just clicking this will tell their recruiters that you're interested and let them know that you are interested in them in specifically because they're one of your target companies. Excuse me. Okay. All right, questions. Anybody else got any other questions? We good? So I'm going to go back to my profile. One more thing I'd like to show you as well. All right, so there's one more thing I'm going to cover, and that is, remember we talked about keywords being so important in order to get found, okay? There are actually 4 different sections on your profile that are the most important, that you have the right keywords in those 4 different sections, okay? And I'm going to mention those 4 different sections so that you know that that's where you need to concentrate putting those keywords, okay? Because keywords in the text on your education section isn't important as keywords in these other 4 sections, because education is not one of the ones that actually gets scanned for keywords, okay? It gets scanned for obviously degrees and those kind of things, but it doesn't get scanned for keywords. 4 sections that you need to make sure that you try to put the right kinds of keywords. The first section is your professional headline. This one right up here. This one is 220 characters long, and you need to have the right kind of keywords in here. In other words, for me, because I'm a LinkedIn trainer, the keywords that I want to make sure that I'm going to put in each of these sections are these guys specifically. LinkedIn trainer, LinkedIn training. I want to make sure those keywords are there, okay? So that's important, okay? The first section is your professional headline. The second section is your about section. Inside of here somewhere as well, you're going to need the word LinkedIn. I'm going to need the word LinkedIn training, LinkedIn trainer, and you're going to need your keywords to be put in there as many times as possible as well. Professional headline, about, and then the next one is in your experience section. Look at all the titles that I've included in here because I want to make sure I put multiple keyword titles in here that will help me get found. Okay? And that is, again, LinkedIn training, LinkedIn trainer, LinkedIn tips for these 3. And you're going to notice that I have put that in practically every single role and every single experience section. I've got LinkedIn training, LinkedIn trainer, LinkedIn tips. Your keywords belong in your experience section as those titles as well. First section, professional headline. Second section, about section. Third section, experience. Fourth section, and perhaps the most important section, is that you want to make sure that down here, you put the right keywords as far as your skills are concerned. Literally, here is where the rubber meets the road from a LinkedIn perspective. And when you are adding skills and when you're updating your skills here, you need to make sure that you're putting the right keywords. And if you're putting the right keywords, it will be what is called, and I'm going to pause for emphasis here, because it's most important, especially in your skills section, that you use keywords that are what are called market value titles. In terms of market value titles, make sure that if you're typing in something that is LinkedIn, okay, that LinkedIn training is one of the key skills that shows up in the pull down. It's almost, it behooves you to make sure that you're trying to put your skills out there. Every single one of them should be a match to the pull down, because when it pops up in the pull down, like this one is LinkedIn training, okay? LinkedIn training is a market value title, and every one of those market value titles will help you get found a whole lot more frequently than if you didn't use it. Again, especially in skills. Now, when you're doing this as well and putting in something like LinkedIn training, it's also very important for you to not only put in the skill that's a market value title, but it's also important for you to make the relationships about where you use that skill as much as possible. Literally, all you have to do is check the box next to the experience section that you want, and you can make that relationship for LinkedIn. And the more relationships you have, the more you will also get found as well. And those relationships don't only stem from your experience, they go to education. They also go to the volunteering work. I can check boxes on these. It might even be related to publications that I've done. It might even be related to honors and awards that I've done. Make those changes as much as possible. Everybody with me as far as making sure your skills are market value titles? Yes, I see Susie has her hand up.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you again. You are so amazing. I am blown away by your knowledge. Thank you so much for sharing all these wonderful tips. I have a question regarding the market value titles, because companies use different titles for different things. And I'm always afraid of bucketing myself, either in the wrong spot or narrowing it too much. And I'll give you an example, business development. Business development means different things for different companies, and I always get bucketed as sales, and that is the last thing I would like to do. Okay. However, business development in some other companies means that you are literally looking for partnership business opportunities, whatever things there are. So how do you sort that out? Thank you so much.
Well, I would tell you that if you start typing something in like this, again, this is any place, in your title, in your experience session, etc. Okay. Usually, if you've got an experience that is a past experience, it probably behooves you to put the old title in there as well. But I would use new titles that are matching to the market value titles, so that I've got a chance of getting found. So I would say that business development is probably, in your case, this is just my definition of what I'm seeing here, but business development in your case is probably, there might even be something called business partnership. I don't know. If business partnership would fit it better, try that. Business partner support, that might be better than business development. Who knows? Okay. Because as you say, business development has that connotation, et cetera. But as you can see, if you even start using business development, there's new business development, there's business development, there's business strategy, business planning, international, there's sales. Okay, so again, obviously you don't want to use sales because that's not one that appeals to you. Small business development consultancy, business process development, et cetera. Use the ones that are as much of a match to exactly what you want to be as possible. Put those in there as much as you can, and make sure that you do that. Now, especially when we get to something like skills again, one of the things I didn't mention here is that, by the way, LinkedIn made a change that was not too long ago, that there used to be a maximum number of skills that used to be 50. LinkedIn has raised that maximum now to 100. So you can start including more skills if you want to. Now, just because you can list 100 skills, does that mean you should? Well, not necessarily, okay? Because it's also very good to focus on exactly the skills you want, which is why, for example, as you can see, I never even reached the 50. I focused it on the 31 skills I really want to be found for. And for me, it's working, okay? And one more thing while we're on the market value titles and the skills section bit, okay? There's another thing that behooves you to do as far as skills is concerned as well. Once you've got your skills listed in here, excuse me, one of the things that you're going to want to do is reorder them so that you put the top 3 to 5 skills up at the top. Did you know that you can reorder your skills? Most people don't, because reordering your skills is so hidden. If you go into skills and you've got your skills listed, but you're going to edit your skills, you're never going to know that you can reorder your skills unless you click this button. And then click the magic 3 dots. Click the edit, then click the magic 3 dots, because that actually allows you to reorder your skills so you put the top 3 to 5 of your skills up at the top. Reorder brings up the list of all your skills, and then all you got to do is pick up this little hamburger, I think is the technical term for this icon, and drag it wherever you want it, and drag the ones to the top that you want, and then save it. Actually, it saves automatically because reorder doesn't have a save button. Okay. Now, by the way, once I'd done that, I also did the very same thing on my experience section. Okay, because I actually, when I went to my experience section and you talk about the things that I've listed as far as titles is concerned here, I actually made sure that I reordered all of those, like I said before, is that every single one of mine is going to have LinkedIn training, LinkedIn trainer, LinkedIn tips as the first 3 skills that show on that experience section. So that anybody who's looking at it will help. Now, here's what that does for you though, folks, okay? Again, this is all about what you want to be found for and focusing on putting those right words on your profile so that you will be found for them. I've got a saved search here, okay, that I want you to see. I've got a saved search that is about LinkedIn trainer in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. I want to be specific. I want to be focused. I want to make sure that when someone does a search for LinkedIn trainer in Columbus, Ohio, they find me. So here's what happens when someone does go do that search. They find me, and this will come back. I think it's working. Yeah, it's working. There's the wait circle. Okay, bear with me for just a second, because the results are great, because when it does that kind of a search and it brings back the search results, there are only 2 of us. So now I've only got 1 person to compete with, but that's because I put the right stuff on my profile so that if someone searches for LinkedIn trainer in Columbus, Ohio, they are finding me and 1 other person. Now, that's not quite as true in terms of a saved search that I've got that is about LinkedIn training. Someone might search for not trainer, but they might search for the word LinkedIn training in Columbus, Ohio. Well, if this will hurry and do its thing, you'll also notice that it's going to bring back a small number of results. I think it's about 24 last time I did this. And unfortunately, when you come back with the 24 results and you scroll down through here on the first page, I'm not on the first page. However, when you go just a little bit further onto page number 2, as long as I'm here in the first couple of pages, I'm a happy camper. And there I am at the top of the second page, okay, being found because of LinkedIn training in Columbus, Ohio. You want that to happen for you. You want to be on the top 2 pages as far as search results is concerned. And by doing so, you will actually doing what I've been talking about as far as putting those right market value titles and keywords on your profile. It will happen for you. Okay. Now I'm about done here. So as far as timing is concerned, so I'm going to pause to see if there's any other questions and then maybe mention one more thing.
We have a question from audience here, Jeff.
Okay.
You said you put the keywords in 4 sections.
You're gonna have to help. I am really having trouble hearing. I've got my volume all the way up. So
Yeah.
Shout it out.
You said put 4. You have 4 sections to add keywords. One is professional headline. The other one is experience The third one is skill. What's the fourth one?
I mentioned the about section. So it's professional headline, keywords in the professional headline, keywords in your about section, keywords in your experience, and keywords in your skills. Those are the four that are the most important.
Okay, thank you. Anyone from the remote people in Zoom? Anyone else? No? Unmute yourself or raise your hand. No? Okay, Jeff, go ahead.
Okay, I'll say one more thing, okay? Again, making the changes that I talked about before. I did this too fairly recently, and the results are really what I wanted to share with you. Because you get analytics, you should start watching your analytics, especially if you made all those little changes that I talked about, and then also make changes to your keywords. Literally, this is down a little bit now, but several weeks ago, I made the changes that I talked about related to LinkedIn training, and my number of profile views went from 900 to over 1,150. Now it's back down a little bit now, close to 1,000, but it went from 900 to 1,150, and that's a huge change. In 90 days. I'm getting at least one more hit a day, okay, maybe two more hits a day. But the real change that really happened that was most significant is that because of the keyword changes that I made, the number of times I showed up in a search appearance went from 400 to, as you can see here, over 900. It actually was over 1,000 at one point in time, and it stayed up here. So that's the key, is that it stayed up here. I was only getting search results of 400. I was showing up in 400 search appearances per week. I'm now doing more than twice that, okay, and showing up in over 900 to 1,000 search appearances every single week. And that's exactly what you want to have happen as well. Okay? Okay, I'll stop there. Come back.
Oh my God. What a wealth of information. Thank you so much, Jeff. That was
My
wonderful.
pleasure.
So before we go, let's just give a big round of applause to Jeff for all this wonderful information. So, yes. Very good. Thank you. So now, before we go any further, Ian, can you put the poll online? I want everyone to take a moment to fill out this little survey poll that we have. What did you think of today's talk? What did you think of the content, the information, and all that? And then we will just open it up for Q&A. Okay, so anybody has any question from the audience here? No? Okay, Daniel, yeah, hold on a second.
I want to ask, Jeff, can you hear me? So when we go to LinkedIn job search and we type in keywords, but what I found is the LinkedIn keywords job searching is broken. For example, if I type in photo lithography, and they are going to turn out.
I missed the last part of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes. If we go to job and search by keywords, and then, for example, I type in photo lithography, then they are turned out about 3,000, 4,000 jobs. But actually, most of them have nothing to do with photo lithography. Another example, I type in electroplating, and then they turn out about 3,000, 4,000 jobs. But actually, the jobs is about supposed to be only 100, 200 related to the electroplating. Most of them actually have nothing to do with electroplating. So
yeah.
It looks like a LinkedIn job search. Keywords job searching is broken right now.
Oh, you think it is?
I don't know.
Well, the only thing I can tell you is that you keep playing with it to make sure that you use as many of the filters as you can to filter it down to, maybe jobs in only a particular location, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Being as targeted as you can is always better on LinkedIn. So, and you're talking about doing a search through the job search, like job search tab, right? Searching for job.
All right. Jeff, did that help? I mean, Daniel, did that help? You know, he said he's suggesting use more filters. And okay, Any other question from people on this on Zoom? You can raise your hand or unmute yourself. Yes, no? Oh my goodness. I thought it would be. Yeah, go ahead. Did someone say something? I missed that. I don't have the screen in front of me, so my screen is blanked out, so I cannot see if anybody raised a hand. I don't know.
I don't see any raised
No?
hands on the Zoom
Okay,
Zoom spot.
I see.
Oh, Susie.
I seem to be the one asking the questions today. I apologize if I'm dominating the field here, but I do have a lot of questions on LinkedIn. First of all, thank you so much for the presentation, Jeff. You are super, super amazing. I am blown away, as I said before. I wanted to go back a little bit on the saved search. Are you talking about where I appear on the search results if someone searched a certain skill? Or should I, because I have like 20 saved searches for myself because I am looking for a job.
Right.
But I didn't quite understand when you were talking about the saved search. What were you referring to?
I actually saved those searches myself just so I could use them as illustrations. Okay. You should do the same thing because a way of checking to see whether or not you're showing up in search results is to go ahead and search for yourself and use the criteria that you would normally use to bring yourself up. And that will then allow you to see whether or not you're showing up high enough. Okay. And again, the way you show up higher is having the right keywords in the right places, okay, from that perspective. But I just saved those searches as bookmarks. I didn't really save them as a separate search itself inside of LinkedIn. Does that make sense?
Yeah, now completely. I understand now what you mean because I saw that just a little word tweak, trainer, training, changed completely what the search results are. So I get it now. I got to play around with what I need to use and save.
Right.
Got it.
Well,
Thank you so much.
And one of the ways that you can find some of those is honestly, if you're in conversations with a recruiter, okay, and you should have some sort of a relationship with at least one recruiter, right? What I would go to that recruiter and ask that recruiter is, if you were looking for me, what would you look for? Okay, exactly what would be the criteria you would be looking for? What would be the keywords you would be looking for? And then that way you can do that kind of search on your own as well. And it's also sometimes important to have maybe one of your friends, one of your networking buddies, okay, to do the search as well, because every time you do a search as yourself, it's only showing you in context of your own network. It would be nice to have a different perspective in someone else's network involved at the same time as well.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. I'll do that.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Anyone else? No? You have to, again, unmute yourself because I cannot see in my screen what's going on here.
Yeah, no other hands.
Yeah. Some on my screen. Okay, I don't see any hands raised. Obviously. Oh, first of all, can you guys hear me? Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So if you have a question, please feel free to unmute yourself or raise hand. If not, I mean, this is a networking part. Jeff, are you going to be able to stick around if people have a question, or do you have to leave? I know time is different for you.
Yeah, I should actually get moving along. Just one final thing, though. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Namaste, of course. I've been back to CSIX many different times, and it's always fun. It's never the same. I love the fact that it's never the same because the people always change and the questions always change. But honestly, folks, just look at LinkedIn as a tool. And then the more that you use this tool, the more that you practice with this tool, the better you will be with it, and the more effective that you will be with it. And that's my goal here, is to help you be effective. And if you need more help, come on back to my profile, because the LinkedIn Guru is open 24/7, 365. Okay. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Yes, as you mentioned, Jeff mentioned, Jeff has been kind enough to come to CSIX several times. And I'm hoping that we don't wear out our welcome and we can invite you to come back again, because LinkedIn, as you know, is a tool you mentioned, but it's ever changing like many other stuff. So you have to stay with it. But having 1,000 show up, what you said about 900 or something like that, that hit that you got. That's amazing. That's amazing that how many, I think I get like 1 a month or something like that, 2 a month or so. But
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you so much, Jeff. Anybody else has any question before Jeff takes off? All right. Well, anyhow, this is now, it's the open networking. If you want to stick around and talk, thank you again, Jeff, for all your wisdom,
My pleasure.
knowledge, and